All right. Welcome to, I don't even say it's part two. It's just the second night of two-part night. I think that unlike yesterday's rather difficult situation, I got everything under control. So we're going to have a slightly different topic. It's not going to be a two-parter. It's, a, a different, it's a different trip from 2000 and something. Again, 2005 June trip. Went up to Boston on an invite to catch a Red Sox game. This was shortly after the Red Sox went from being terrible to perennially excellent. That doesn't really matter. But it's going to be basically a lot of NEC stuff, a little bit of Boston. I'm going to do all the all the crazy, most of the Fenway photos I sort of put into their own bin to avoid boring people with. But to start with, there's a couple extra things in here of going to New York. So like we're going to go to New York with a few photos, then we're going to go to New York again, and then it'll be and then we'll finally get to Boston. So I'm just going to start. Should hopefully get done within about the hour. It's not going to be a giant set. So just here's a quick photo from the recently opened, if you recall those sets of photos from about a few weeks ago, the Patco Center Tower from the NJT River Line. Center Tower was named after the PRSL tower of the same location, So it sort of has that. It used to be when Patco opened in 1968, it had a, just going to pull up, there's the old center. It had an NX board in there. It's of course it's been modernized, but it's nice that they sort of put that in. Anyway, it's also a substation, so the tower is on top of a Patco traction substation. View from Conrail's Pavonia yard with some kind of NS high hood Jeep in there, but who knows. Not sure exactly what I was doing or when these date from. They're going to be at the same amount of time, but sorry about that. This is really good. My NRHS chapter, Southwest Jersey NRHS chapter, made a whole book on Pavonia Yard. I mean, book as it's pretty small, but it's pretty. It's a good book, and if you see it, just if you're ever interested, it exists. Here's something interesting. Even 2005, these Conrail painted Jeeps. What is that? These are GP38-2s. Are in really good paint scheme. These would start vanishing by around 2010. The last of the Conrail painted engines disappeared. I'm not sure why they went so fast on NS and CSX, whereas the UP Southern Pacific ones lingered on for quite a bit longer. Anyway. That's number 5279 if you can't see it. Definitely something I probably should have sought out more, but so Riverline, at least at the time I think it was like $1.30 or maybe even $1.10. Here we have the infrequently used low-level platform at or aka the wall track at Trenton with the signals 6EB and 8AE with the 86 switch. It would have been nice. Again, this is one of those things, like I think I said before, where I'm not for just running light rail caliber vehicles all over the place, but having them be able to pull into this low-level like having the Riverline platform be there would be great. And I don't think it would taken much to sort of allow that to happen. FRA could do some sort of waiver saying that the River Line could use that track, and they could even run up past Fair, through Fair, and use what used to be the SEPTA yards. There we go. And then we have a little stick dwarf. Some railroads, if you put them on a stick, it counts as a high signal on the PRR because they're so distinctive. You know, it doesn't matter where you mount them, they're still a dwarf. And here we have that 86A switch. Actually, I'm going to update that. 86A. I haven't checked it, but I'm pretty sure that Fair has been converted to electric M3s. Sort of happened over the last year or two. Haven't been able to get up there much due to COVID things. I'm sure that the gas operated, you can see the heater shields have been replaced by electric. That's another thing that's been going on, at least on Amtrak, with the winter, due to more mild winters. This is the quote-unquote famous 1AE signal at the east end of the main platform, or the northbound platform. And we have, there's the one behind it, the dwarf behind it's the 6AW. For anyone who don't know, Amtrak uses track-specific numbering. So track number is number 1, the direction, and then if it's like the second signal that you get in progression in one interlocking, you'll get an A, B, C, D, etc. So this would be the second signal on track 1 at Fair interlocking. Most other railroads do not quite let you calculate switch and signal identification so easily. You can sometimes infer it, but you're probably going to be wrong. Here we have the Arrow 3s, and if you look carefully, I'm not sure if they have the gray roofs of shame yet. It's going to be number 1481. The gray roofs of shame being the gray sealant applied to the roof as they start to leak. Arrow 3s are still running. But they're working on a replacement. Like I said, this cuts to New York, and it's going to cut back to Philly. So here we have the very famous IRT 50-something Street substation. I say famous because it is located directly adjacent to the famous Ed Sullivan Theater. Whereas if you look online, there's literally 20 feet behind where today what used to be Letterman and now is Stephen Colbert, where they sit is an IRT substation that still has. They're not in service, but they're there. It still has the original rotary converter equipment in place. There's the Ed Sullivan Theater. That's going to be. I just want to get the street number on that. 53rd Street. That's right. So yeah, someone mentions it looks like a tenement building, but it's entirely a substation. This is a high bay room with a crane in it. It was just part of what the IRT had to do to sort of meet local zoning to make it not look like crap. NYCTA. Sort of hard to get a good picture on with the amount of street that you had to work with and the lens that I had in my camera. Yeah, you see, looks like an apartment building, but the front door is just whatever, and you've got the subway's 100th anniversary sign going on. NYCTA driveway. Pretty neat. Like I said, that is directly behind where you see David Letterman sitting. That thing behind, it's a very short stage, and there's just a wall and then substation. Apparently, they had to do a whole bunch of weirdo shielding stuff when they put the HD, when they went to an all digital production facility. Want to make sure that I'm got everything up there. Let's see what's going on. All right, that was part one. Part two is the actual trip to Boston. Here we are coming up on the famous Amber signal bridge. Used to be located between North Philadelphia and Zoo, and was ultimately replaced in conjunction with the North Philadelphia Tower closure, but not quite immediately. It was sort of replaced around it. This would be the milepost 86.1 signal, or milepost 86. One of them was 860. This one would be 861. Oops. Never got a very good picture of this. Not sure why. Just I had access to the back, but I just didn't quite have the trains are going at a sufficient clip through here that could never get a good angle on it. Maybe I can. Do I really need that extra guy there? There we go. Well, it got a little bit better. Amtrak NEC North signal 861. Which track is which? That's always the question. It's going to be track 4 on the right, so it's track 3 approach. That was replaced by a pair of modern style colorized position light signal bridges, each in a different direction. So they got staggered. In this area they now have staggered blocks. This signal had was presenting all kinds of operational problems. I think I did pull it up somewhere, because at the time North Philadelphia only had high signals on tracks 1 and 2, so you had dwarfs. Although you could get a slow clear on them going in the other way. That means that this 861 on tracks 3 and 4, the best you could get there was an approach slow, not super great. And yeah, so anyway, that held on for a while. And here we have the famed North Philadelphia interlocking itself. I think this was the point that I might have noticed, or is this point or around this point. The tower has still been open, but I would have noted that the air switches went out right around now. They got a process for temporarily, it's increasingly less relevant as there's fewer and fewer towers for this to be applied to. Now this is the... Now remember, this does not follow the later Amtrak convention because it was still tower controlled. This would have been the 43 switch, which on this is indicating a slow speed turnout, but I'm not sure. Only about 10 years before, this would have incorporated what now became the Trenton line, back before Conrail was able to completely disengage itself from Amtrak in these areas from the PRR legacy. So this would have been, you would have had this switch there, and then one more there, and then the home signals are on that bridge, which is currently out of service but still standing. And here we have the North Philadelphia interlocking slightly before complete rationalization. There's a number of things that this track, for example, this track here had a little diamond there. Where is it? Right there. That got completely removed, and that got completely removed. So I think that double ladder is still there, but I don't know about the 37 switch. So I think that you just sort of come down, and you got one ladder, and you have a second ladder. I think I can look it up, actually. Not that you guys care. I'm sorry. Yes. No, that 37 switch is still there. So you do have two complete ladders. And that's really weird. Oh wow, this is crazy because NJT never updated its diagrams for North Philadelphia interlocking. They include the North Philadelphia. I'm looking at this NJT track diagram. Oh, it's a 2011 track diagram. Still, it's out of date. They only include the Amtrak stuff for informational purposes only. So they just never updated it with the new stuff. Try to flatten this out a bit. There it goes. The red tint is from the back of the Amtrak, out the back of an Am fleet. Apparently Amtrak's, there's some scuttlebutt. It was reported by a quote-unquote Amtrak official, but as a completely unofficial forum for replacing Am fleets with some sort of weirdo train set concept. I would be very surprised. I've heard that sort of stuff before, so I'm not too worried. I think that Am fleet replacement's going to either be something on a Viewliner or something on a Siemens Charger base, because they are ready to roll, and they've already bought the ASC 86s. And I think Amtrak would be very wary to buy something that would lead to a maintenance overhang, especially during a potential, an eventual Republican administration or austerity period. Here's the famous six-track signal bridge, minus some tracks. I think that I was aware that they were getting ready to close North Philadelphia Tower. I don't know. I'm assuming the tower's got to be still open at this point. Yeah, it's got to, because they haven't done the complete reconfiguration of it. So it's LED, but it's still tower controlled. So those signals would be the 30R, 28R, 40R, and 6R. Yeah, so Amtrak, the NJT diagram reflects this situation, but keeps the older things. That'd be the 28R with a clear. And this part was converted and would be Clearfield interlocking. Used to be part of Zoo. I mean, North Philadelphia. This was done up very early on, in like 1999 or 2000, probably in conjunction with the whole Mantua and Girard project to close that part of Zoo. But because I remember the first couple times when I rode up here, when I was heading up to school, it was still pneumatic in part of North Philly, and then it changed in that when I only had a film camera. North Philadelphia Station, also in this time, just got a rehab, and the tower had been newly painted. Both of those have deteriorated to some degree in the intervening 20 years. Here we cut to F Interlock. I don't know how the heck I'm gonna deal with this one. This is the 7 line just after the Hunters Point, Long Island City portal, with a train of R62s. Whatever. Oh, here comes the fun. But the good news is like I said, I have the diagrams for all this stuff. So let's see if I can get it. No, that's Penn Station. Oh, it's a fold out. Don't make me have to unfold this. Oh no. Oh, it's gonna rip. Damn fold. Okay, so I don't think we came out. We might have come out of. We came out of line 2 on this one. We were running reverse. Normally you don't see this because lines 1 and 3. There's a crossover. The Long Island Railroad, out of Penn Station, Long Island Railroad are on the top in the north, Amtrak on the south. So they come out of their respective zones with in the north, with 2. Eastbound, westbound sort of pairs, and then 2 of those tracks, lines 2 and lines 3, cross over under Long Island City, so that they come out with 2 parallel directions. So you go from east-west, east-west to east-east, west-west. So we're wrong railing on line 2, and we're coming up, and that's line 4, normally used by the Long Island Railroad. And that's F interlocking signal 712E, which is adjacent to signal 716WA, and then there's an auto. That other one I think is an auto. All right, let's try to get this all under control. These have all since been replaced by make sure you're not getting a black screen there. These have all since been. I can't type anything because I'm now I'm several feet back from the keyboard due to the giant fold-out map in my lap. Okay, there we go. Oh, gosh. Brighten, get rid of the red. The red's from the side windows of an Amfleet car. They love tinting those damn windows red, don't they? Okay. So this is Amtrak F. The whole complex F and the Queens are all, except for Q interlocking, they're labeled in conjunction. The various interlockings in Penn Station have different number prefixes, like JO is 5, something down there is 6, a KN is like 4, A has no prefix, and then when you get into F, it's prefixed with a 7, HAROLD is prefixed with an 8. So, like I said, that's the 712E, Amtrak F. It's all controlled from PSCC 712E. Plus 716 WA. Looks like the S124-1 auto. Huh. Okay. Oops. Get rid of some more red, and we're good. Good enough. Close enough. All right, and here we have an Empire train sitting on one of the two Sunnyside Yard exit tracks, sub 1 and sub 2. Looks like it's on sub 2. Oh, did I lose it? Yep. Like again, I will answer questions in just a moment. I am not near the keyboard still. Trying like heck to avoid ripping this giant fold-out map. Those have since been mainly repainted as New York State units, celebrating, in sort of a heritage scheme. All right, let's see what we got here. I think I had some questions. Oh, trap diagrams. I have someone that can get them for me. They also appear on eBay every so often. These NJT ones are great because of the Amtrak references. I have Amtrak referenced stuff, but they don't have all the signals and numbers, and I realize that these NJT ones do, and they're just, they're just super phenomenal. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that tint. It's not as bad as the Metra, though. That's the absolute worst. But I have noticed that you can get rid of the Metra tint pretty easily with a color balance adjust. The Amtrak tint is much more insidious because you get purple. I don't know I'm not saying like I'm not a color theorist. So when you're dealing with color correction, you have like the red blue axis, and you have like the sort of green purple adjustment. But purple is very tough to get rid of, especially when you're just mainly dealing with red and blue, because it's a mix of the two of them, so you can't really get rid. It just keeps sticking with it. So here we just have the rear of Q Tower, still open, by the way, with its old 1911 interlocking machine. I keep forgetting it's there, obscured by a tree. God, that's what I'm terrified. I'm super terrified about the stimulus, not stimulus, the infrastructure spending. Infrastructure spending is not what you want when you care about vintage infrastructure, not at all. So we'll have to see what gets canned. But I've heard nothing about getting rid of Q. R was probably only gotten rid of because it was in the way of the Acela building. So because it's sort of like, what do you call it? Because it's sort of not on a main line, it could just keep soldiering on. All of this has been zapped by East Side Access. I don't even know if that's whatever that is there. That's the old connecting track. There was an escape track that would go up from Q to line 4 that would give you direct access down there. I'm pretty sure that got zapped by East Side Access. Um, assuming that that switches, that would be the 819 switch at Harold. Oh, dang it. And there's a signal there, too. I used to have a different diagram in a little spiral notebook, but it only had some of the switch names. This is all of them, and it's great. That's the 820E signal and the 819 switch. And up above, that's an auto. Automatic E37. I'm not going to acknowledge it because I don't feel like trying to... That's on a different scale. That's on the Long Island Railroad main line setup. There we go. Right there. I'm almost... That is certainly turned into an east side access ramp by now. $820E, 819 switch. And it's a large... I mean, I can't easily scan this thing either because it's very large format. But I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can get them scanned and put them on the website. Yeah, here we have the 22, 23 automatics. Yeah. 23 being in the opposite direction. So, let's see how I can do this. Towers, signaling. Here we go, Long Island Railroad. Here we go, that's how I do it. Oh, backlighting. Alright, I'm just going to give up there. $22. North. There we go. And here we have a super neat side picture. I don't get a lot of good side pictures, but I got this one pretty well of a Metro North M2 on the move, and my crummy ass 3 megapixel camera actually got a great focus on it. But again, it's got that red tint I just can't quite get rid of. So hey, we're all the way in Boston. This would be whatever Green Line station is near Kenmore. You can see the Citgo sign sort of blown out there, and Type 8s were already in service. Yeah, man, they've been around for a while. That's... God, I can't even see what number that is. Looks like 30 something something. You have to go up to the Boston and try to figure out where that is. Yeah, I'll see what I can do with these stars. It's gonna. I'll have to find like a nice day and take photos. It was a nice day today. If it's a nice day tomorrow, I'll try to get out and get photos of the Penn Station is less important. Those they basically put a prefix in front of the original tower numbers. So if you can go and pull up any of the older diagrams of Penn Station that are online, those are around, and you can interpret that. That has not changed much. All right, there's Fenway. There's Kenmore Square. That's where the Citgo sign is. Okay, so we must have taken the green line. That's going to be Brantford looking east. Or Blandford. Probably one of those ones they should close. Alright, yeah. There's the Prudential Center. Yeah, they're right. This is really sodium vapory. I also have some bonus photos coming up. There's one additional set coming up there. Looks like I just can't get the number. It's just too shiny. It's like 30 something something something. I'm just gonna call it like 3815. Is that? Let me go on. I have a MBTA Type 8. Oh, it's just going to go to green line. Blah, 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 blah. Rolling stock, please. Huh, the Type 8s came in 1998. At least... Oh, wow, they have Type 9s now. And... okay. 3800. So let's say 3815 makes sense. Okay. That's good. $38.15 at Blandford Street at night. I might also pull if we're having a fun conversation. Wow, this cuts around a lot. So the person I went with, I think I went with my girlfriend at the time, and I dropped her back off in Connecticut, and this is then me catching the train back from Connecticut. What you did not see were a whole bunch of photos of Fenway Park and Boston. That was what was going to take up the majority of this set, but they were just touristy photos of Boston, and if and when I process them, like, it's nothing that I'm going to live stream. It's like it has nothing to do with anything. But this is the old Meriden station. It looks nothing like this today. They put in a new double high-level platform, gauntlet track. The jointed rails all sort of gone. It's not really jointed, but it got jointy. And they closed that crossing, and it's Rule 562, so the signals are gone. And the platform is high-level. I'm taking a nostalgia drink there. But what I need to do is figure out how to mark those signals. I've done it before. Actually, I've done it so recently in one of these, I can probably find it in one of these photo sets. Blah, 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 blah. Nah, not there. Don't put any questions while I'm trying to find some of these photos. They should just be right here. It's my field trip. That's Spring Tower. Almost. Okay, 1 second. I can search through my Google. I have it up for a reason. That's not it. That's not it. Oh, I know where it is. All right. There they are. Okay. It's signal 18. 18 looks like 18 here it is. 18.8-2. Sorry about that. Got it resized. Oops, and it didn't. Come on. And they were recently converted to LED, and they said they've since been converted to not being there. Okay. And what is still there is the Springfield line shuttles with the Metroliner cab cars. Had a wonderful talk with a friend recently. So I have a friend who's getting me all sorts, who has, and he's scanning, in the process of scanning, you can check my Twitter, documents from the golden age of traction propulsion systems in the late Pennsylvania Railroad era. And one of the things he mentioned that he's fairly convinced that the Pennsylvania Railroad, he remembers this better than I do. We saw a presentation on a former Bud employee was talking about the Metroliner program and how it was like Japan unveiled its HSR and President Johnson wanted to basically stand something up in a ridiculously short period of time. And the Pennsylvania Railroad, like, really was sick of running passenger trains. So they he's pretty sure that some of the decisions that were made by the Metroliner were part of the PRR intending it to fail. This is, it's because at the time the FRA or the ICC, whoever was in charge, they didn't have any in-house expertise. There was no Pueblo testing center. They just deferred to whatever the PRR wanted to say because they didn't have any better plan. So that's why the PRR was like, we work with Westinghouse. How about half of the cars have Westinghouse equipment? We don't like this new high-speed truck. Can we just use this chonky one without this outboard equalized chonky one? And those are all just sort of ways that they were pretty sure. So that's why they split the propulsion system in a 60-car order, half going to GE and half going to Westinghouse. The GE actually had the proven propulsion system, but the PRR, they just wanted to cause chaos. Here we have the shuttle coming into New Haven. Well, it's already arrived. I'm just getting a picture of it. So that's sort of rumor there, but he seems that it's the only thing that makes some of the design choices, and it was the PRR that was insisting on a lot of that. Here we have I don't know why. People call I forget what the names that the HHP8s go by, but I always call them bananas because the way that they have that short body and the sloping either end makes them from the side look like an upside down banana. But that's a definite me thing. Okay, there we go. I think I got a picture of every HHP8 back. I didn't do this for the AM7s, and I should have. But back when they retired the last of them, I did a thing on Amtrak NEC Facebook group, and I did a I every day I'd find a photo of each of the HHP8s, and I had all good photos of every one except like one. You know, I had like multiple photos of every HHP8 except like one, and I found one, but it wasn't a great. It was like this, like off in a yard somewhere, and I forget which one it was, but I'm glad I got a picture of all of them, but I almost missed it. I don't know how that happened. All right. So this is not the end. I do have some extras. I have about 8 extras here. That's why I said this might take a little bit extra time. Let me see if we have any questions or if I've screwed up the screwed things up somehow. What am I looking at? I'm going here. All right, what do we got? Diagrams. What doesn't operate on the island? Wait, what? What island? Oh, Amtrak operating on Long Island. There's been an on again, off again proposal to extend regionals or Empire trains to like Jamaica. It basically it's part of it is the fact that, you know, if why you don't have to terminate something at Sunnyside, it could terminate at Jamaica. It's not, you know, if you, let's take an Empire service train running out to Jamaica. You know, people could connect with, so your Empire train, someone could fly in from JFK, connect to an Empire train, and then go directly to Albany. Or, you know, a politician from Albany could easily connect with a plane at JFK in one-seat ride. It's a little bit one-seat ride chasing. That's not really cool, but at the same point, it wouldn't involve too much extra infrastructure. So, I don't know what it would take to do that, but it'd probably be something with the dual mode. So I think this is nominally. This is Amtrak. So this is part of HAROLD. This is before, again, it got redone. I don't know what that mainline signal there is. That's like an entrance signal to Long Island Railroad territory, and it's not marked on this map. It's out of scope. In fact, all the signals coming into gate are out not on the map. That's annoying. 804, 802, 808. That's got to be 806 then. Or 800. Sorry about that. I'm just looking. That's 80. That's got to be signal 800. Yeah, coming into the 801 switch. Probably both of them. I'm not seeing an 806 though. Yet there's 800E and there's 806. Okay, so those are both signal 808. And then there's some other ones. So, and this is technically also still part of HAROLD. Oh, that's right. I always forget a color balance usually works better with an Amfleet. Just got to take it to cold. There it goes. Yeah, sometimes your color balance will work on a red to green issue. But in purple, it's tough to get rid of that. And that is Long Island Railroad. That's a Port Washington track, by the way. It's Port Washington 1. Made that a little more complicated than it needed to be. This is the 800 switch, or I don't know. This is just more. Some people call this gate, even though it's the gate is really Amtrak's interlocking up on the Hellgate line. Sometimes people refer to this little junction here from Hellgate to Port Washington, for that Amtrak joins at Harold as gate. I think it's just due to misconceptions, but I'm positive that I've heard people call this section gate. Probably just because, the dispatchers and stuff might discuss trains appearing at gate, and then it sounds like they're talking about here. I'm just going to go color balance. See, I just need to remember to do color balance from the beginning on this. But now I know what to actually call this, and I know what switches those are thanks to this lovely diagram that I have. The text on the diagram is very, very small, which would also hinder copying it. Okay, here we go. I think I can get that in there. Oh, I want this wider, but I don't want that black junk in there. Okay, here we go. So here we have, open it up. That's going to be the 800 switch all the way in the thing, and this is the 803 and 805 switches at Harold. Oh wait, I don't need to do that. Let's just try color balance. Yeah, and a little bit more. Here we go. And a little bit of this. There it goes. Sometimes you don't have all the stuff in a diagram, or you don't have enough file name space. Just ignore it. Focus on the main things, specifically the 803 and 805 switches. I don't care about those signal bridges and gantries and anything else in it. They're barely visible enough to really matter. Also, if remember, your switches lack directionality, so include a direction if you don't have any. In my file names, I always make sure to have some degree of, if not explicit, implicit directionality, because otherwise that leads to all sorts of duplication issues later. So I really want to not include all that junk over there. Alright, I guess I'll cut off that end of this switch. Good enough. Hit that. Hit my color balance. Boom. Look at that. And this is the Harold, the inner signal bridge at Harold. We are looking at the 807 switch and the 800, 806, and 804 signals on the signal bridge, but I'm not going to care about those. Also, that's with the note your AC motor stop on everything except this little Amtrak track. So I think that's the 807, so it's Harold. Glad I get these Harold switch pictures up, because this has all been removed. Plus, it's the eastbound, middle, north gant. It's not only Harold has 6. Harold had pretty much a total of 6 signal bridges, 2 at either end, 1 in the middle, and 2 on each section of the track. Eastbound, middle, north gant? Yeah, good enough. So you just have to identify which one it is. One feature of U.S. Union switch and signal position lights that are not duplicated in the Safe Train models are the fact that the US&S ones can be shrunk. You can scooch them in. You can scooch the modules in on the mounting poles. That little star-shaped mounting pole. You can scooch those in. So all this, what you see here, were those little tiny square jobbers. Yeah, there's the Q connecting track. I was right about that. That's a better view of it. There's nothing special about those. They're typical Union switch and signal position lights, but they've just been like squished down into the thing. What's going on here? What am I doing wrong? Oh, okay, that's the problem. I have all that to work with. There we go. A little bit of brightness. Color balance. And that's the 820 signal, that dwarf down there. So this is the full eastbound. This is the HAROLD, the eastbound north gantry. Or now it's got to be the north eastbound gantry. Plus, no, that 820 dwarf. 820E. I knew I was getting that wrong when I did it before. Eastbound middle gantry. There we go. Oh man, I'm getting really... Oh, no wonder. I'm on like extra quality mode. Alright, that fixes it. And we're back almost where we kind of started. Let me just see if there's any issues. Oh, lots of questions here. Oh, I mean, define original. I mean, everything is I don't know, like, I'm sure there's got to be some original stuff on the LIRR, but it's been replaced over the years. They've done a lot of stuff with that. The Woodside one is just wood. Oh, Win? Oh, the reason they squished the signals is because of limited visibility. There's a couple locations on the LIRR. One of them is still there. It's an automatic near Jamaica where they have like an apartment building built over the tracks. You can't see it here, but I'll pull it up on the original photo. Because there's a bridge, that bridge. So they have to mount these so that so eastbound trains can view the signals under that bridge. And the only way to get them low enough is either put a pedestal down there or to make these the super compact style. HAROLD's not a super complicated interlocking like Zoo. On this diagram, it's hard to even notice it. Like F is the one with all the ramps and stuff. Here, like as I said, here we are at F, and that's the Sunnyside yard access track. There's two additional Sunnyside access tracks feeding into line. So most of the stuff comes out underneath this hump there. That's where F Tower used to be. You can see the foundation of it. It's already been popped by 2005. It was only there briefly in 2003. Most of the Amtrak stuff, they come out sub 1 and sub 2, and they join in here to line 2. And if you're coming through this on Amtrak, you're going to go into line 2. This picture here is fairly rare in that it's line 1. I'm pretty sure, yeah. when you come in through that area, that line, that LIR line disappears first, and you'll start going past the Long Island Railroad, Long Island City Station, and then you start dropping down into the tunnel. But I think it's odd. I guess on this trip I did I did odd stuff both times. So I've already done the work on finding out what those are. So let me see what we got going on here. Oops, that's right. Let me just stick with the plan. All right, less red. Okay. So first thing I need to find out, what's that switch number? That switch is switch number 715. This is F 715 switch plus, oops, gonna be the 712E signal. Can't see the 6T plus the it's supposed to be the S1241 auto. Yep, this is another good. Glad I got this picture. I'm always a little. I shouldn't be that like timid going into Penn. So part of the issue is that I no longer ride this part of the line in daylight. Because anytime when I was on like grad school time, I could roll back. I could leave in the morning and on whenever and get back in the middle of the day on like a Monday or something. Now, it's like, why am I try to probably leave as late. If I'm with someone doing stuff, I try to leave later in the day to not blow my rare vacation time or more limited vacation time. So hold on one second here. So Amtrak, I'll put this under NYP. Line 1. What line is that? Nope, I was completely wrong. It's line 4. Line 4, westbound, portal, inside, eastbound. So, and that's going to be the last picture of the day. Thank you for watching. So I'm going to be back almost certainly. Next on Saturday the 24th, I got something planned. I'm probably gonna do. Oh, it's gonna be annoying. I'm gonna probably do some. Depending on how I drive, I'm gonna use that weekend to get some more mainline photos. Mainline, as in PR mainline in the Philadelphia mainline area, the legit mainline, name brand mainline. I got 2 more like signal bridges out there I got to document. I'm going to do that on the way home on Saturday morning. So it's likely going to be a Saturday overnight. So that's going to be the night of the 24th for the next one. Let me see if we got any stuff here. Any other questions? Thank you for all attending. Hope this was a little earlier and a little bit better for you. Next time it's going to be... I got a couple things to investigate. I got one more set of photos in my 2002 to 2005. I'm almost done. This is the second to last one. I think I only have one last thing to do, and I don't have it here. I don't even know what's in the set. It's just labeled as 2005 foliage, so I'll see what that goes. Other things that I'm 100% need to do, that extra weekend for the cork photos, I'm going to do those. So it might just do the cork ones, might do the fall foliage ones. I'll try to announce it ahead of time. But thanks for watching, and I will see you. Like I said, see you in a little less than 2 weeks. So something like a week and a half. All right. See ya. And depending on my videos, like I said, I'll get these up in at some point. I'll if you know the website, the place I got my stuff on, the position light. If you look under like Amtrak diagrams or PRR diagrams, if you notice the date on any of those changing, that's because I got some of the diagram stuff up. But I just got to figure out a good way, because I can't really scan it. I can't take it out of the book, and it's super large format. I can't fit it in a copier, so I'll have to take photos of it with like a phone or something. But anyway, have a great day, and I'm going to be signing off. Stay safe.